After serving the Guyana police force for 3 decades, Victor Sandy, the grandfather of Quinton Bacchus, is appalled by what he describes as excessive force in the police shooting death of his grandson. Speaking with reporters, the retired assistant superintendent of police says this is a clear case of murder and he wants justice.
He got to be justifiable in his action. He got to be justifiable in his action. Because the training will tell you, in confrontation with a man, and firearm got to be used, you shot at the lower parts of a man's body, not the upper part. They're told in the training school, and that is supposed to take you with you wherever you go.
That wasn't the case in
Yeah.
That was the case here? Your son was shot?
Yeah. He was shot first before the fatal shooting. Before the shooting.
What would you like to see happen in this case?
Well, Travis, to be honest, I personally know it's a case of murder. I know it's a case of murder. And I'm looking forward that the police do a thorough investigation and let us get some satisfaction or justification in this matter. I did murder. I spent 24 years, 6 months doing strictly murder investigation. And this excessive use of force. Because you shot a man, he lie down, he actually surrender. You render him helpless, right? The next thing you know, you're supposed to arrest him. If you don't want to take him to the police station there and then, you take him to the Georgetown Public Hospital and put him on the police guard.
The 25-year-old man was shot dead by a policeman last Friday in Haslington, East Coast, Demerara, and the post-mortem report revealed that he died as a result of multiple gunshot injuries. The autopsy was performed on Monday by government pathologist Dr. Niall Singh. According to the police's version of the shooting, Bacchus was seen with a gun and opened fire at ranks as they approached him. The ranks returned fire, shooting him fatally. In the second version, the force said that Bacchus was targeted in an intelligence-led operation and that he attempted to sell a gun to an undercover rank. Sandy is not buying that story.
What I do know, the morning in question, I was in my room watching TV, right? I saw this young fella, the first time I saw him, come in the bedroom, then saw he came in the bedroom. So he said, "Grandfather, you can bring your great grand to see you." I woke up, the boy shake hand thing and he had 2 kisses in the jaw and so on. And they left. So about 5 minutes after, I asked my wife, I said, "Man, where Quinton is?" He said, "Boy, pick him up in motorbike," and they're gone. The child mother and the child leave the car. About 15 minutes after, a neighbor that's living up the street called out to me and said, "Victor, Quinton gets shot up and killed in the housing scheme." Well, when you get this other message, you know what's happened. The wife was home. Well, she don't like to hear them dead thing. She does, I tried to console her. I said, "Listen, we got another message come that investigation, the facility, they gone with him to the Georgetown Hospital." But I'm assuming that take him into the hospital, that he might get some injury, and they take him there to seek medical. For a man being shot, you're not dead, you will take him to the hospital and then you put him on the police guard. But in this case, when they took him there, they took a dead person. The clothing that he wore when he come by me, when I go to see him in the hospital, he get on a boxer short. His phone, clothing, money that he had on him, all you could see that 2 men went to the hospital claiming to be his brothers and they offered these things to them. So like I can't really buy the story.
He said his grandson was always mannerly and disciplined.
See, boy, the grandfather served the Guyana police force for 30 years. I live with a very good record. I came off as assistant superintendent. So I had to show him the right from the wrong. I said, this road is the good road, this road is the bad road. And the only road that you must choose is the right road. Many times I bring about things. Because I say things about him, and he said, "Grandfather, this is true, this is not true." Whatever is true, I just rebuke him about it.
Acting Commissioner of Police Clifton Aiken promised that an impartial investigation would be done in the matter, and that investigation would be headed by the Police Complaints Authority.